Yeah, hi, this is Luke Cataruzza, and I'm here with Dr. Eva Rinvo, and we're going to be having a conversation about the value and the importance of what we are doing for one, I think, noble purpose. And I think it's something that everyone that I speak to feels is necessary for a tumultuous world that is, some people think is going a little bit wild, too wild. And so we're talking about the idea of having a simple, easy process for people to get in touch with themselves and their ability to be able to cause joy, love, and satisfaction on demand. It's something where they're not victims of the circumstances, but yet can take responsibility for them and see the way that their perspective views the situation and then transforms that. And so my intention here, obviously, is to get as many people as possible, especially professionals like yourself, to understand the big picture here, so that if we have as many luminaries and therapists and doctors and influencers to be able to understand what a satisfaction operating system is and how it actually can be used in their communication to clients, patients, and anyone that can understand in a simple form how to self-actualize, and then use the ongoing therapy and support that they bring to the table to really making the possibility of healing a more effective way, and using, of course, the internet and being able to create systems that are simple and not complicated. That's the intention here. So what we would like to do is invite you to participate and become part of learn more about the program. You can do so by going to livingsos.com. And you could also, if you'd like, go to lukecataruzza.com and get to know a little bit more about this. And then we'd like to be able to interview you if in fact you believe you could be, this could be something worth your while and something that we can collaboratively participate in building a movement that reaches those people that we believe will receive a lot of value from this process. So Dr. Eva is known by many for having written books that speaks to the happiness as a function of contribution, kindness, and I have a platform that reaches children between the ages of 5 and 12 with a brother clause, or what I call the Clause Cause, which is a series of books that speak to having children become aware of how kindness, caring, and gratitude are biological, that they are in fact that way of being causes their body to work the best it can. And for the books, of course, to really speak to the feelings that children may have, to help them become the best they can be. That's my little project, and that Dr. Eva has her projects, and all of those projects are certainly part of the big picture, which is what is it that we can do for the betterment of the human condition. So I wanted to introduce you, and don't let me do all the talking here, but in fact, it's important. We've been at this for a while, and we've seen progress happening. It's slow a bit, but we'd like to get this really to percolate. And this video is going to be going out to some influencers that I think many people will be happy to know that they're on board with this. And it will be having interviews like this going forward. And meanwhile, maybe one of the things that I wanted to say, that when we speak to people, starting off the conversation, what is it that you're doing to experience living a satisfying life?
Well, I think living a satisfying life has become very challenging for many people, particularly since the pandemic, because people naturally like to be in groups and like to be social and like to, as you said, provide care and kindness to one another. So starting in the pandemic, we saw a lot of human suffering on the rise as people, had to stay home and had to give up so many of their support systems. So for myself, it's been a challenging few years. I've had to move my practice online and alter my social patterns. So it's been an opportunity to take advantage of some of the simpler things in life. So for me, the things that I've gravitated towards during this pandemic to live a more satisfying life are meditation. We've had a lot more time to be home and to meditate. And instead of using distraction to stop some of our internal thoughts, to use our own other mechanisms by learning to meditate and turn the brain off and not get caught up in all that endless thinking. So that's been a tool that I've been relying on. Also, for me, prior to the pandemic, yoga was very important. And that was very hard to adapt, as I used to go to hot yoga classes. Now I'm grateful to be venturing back to them, having gotten my latest booster. But that mind-body connection is really important, and being in touch with your body is very important. And so yoga, I find to be a very helpful way to calm the mind and to get back in touch with our bodies, because as we get disembodied, I believe that we become very unhappy and unhealthy, and we create a lot of bad habits when we don't pay attention to our body. So I think the pandemic, because for many people, life got slower, not for everyone, but for many people, life got slower. It's an opportunity to care for your body better. So if that means sleeping more, then I've encouraged people to, sleep that extra hour, not to sacrifice on sleep, really focusing on the quality of your sleep, because we're at home more. Sometimes it's harder to sleep because we don't have all the stimulation of the day. And for some people, it's been easier, but always focusing on sleep is really important. And then nutrition. It was a great break from, the restaurants and the fast food and the fast pace. And I find that for myself and for many of my patients that I'm working with, it's been an opportunity to eat better and to cook for ourselves, and to think about what we're eating, and to use eating as a time, to nourish our bodies, and also to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. So our nervous system lives in balance with the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest, or tend and befriend. And so using the knowledge that that's when I can calm down and make sure that I'm eating properly, nourishing my body, but also using that time to be calm. So since we don't have friends maybe at home with us to tend and befriend, sometimes just asking Alexa, hey, put on some calm music, or if you like to control your music a different way, just tapping into some calm music while you're eating to get your nervous system to calm down. And definitely not eating with any arousal. So no reading bad news, no watching television, no calling up somebody who's going to distress you when you're eating, and trying to really honor that part of the day when you can get out of that fight or flight sympathetic overdrive and lean into that parasympathetic nervous system. For a lot of people, big meals are in the evening as a way to wind down and to get ready to go to sleep. So those are some of the top things that I can think of already. I was never really a drinker beforehand, but home alone, it's easy not to drink. So just gotten completely alcohol free. And so once you get used to no alcohol, you really don't even like any, because it does destabilize you. So I think that's been a helpful change as well. Last thing, I'll say one last thing.
Yeah.
I had a lovely apartment before, and people would say, do you ever sit out here and watch the sunset? And I would say no, because I was always going somewhere doing something. But now I've really incorporated watching the sunset into my daily routine. So I know what time sunset is. I try not to schedule anything at that time. I try to go outside, take a walk. And then if it's a really compelling sunset, I'll just sit down and I'll watch it, and like a show, and I'll watch it till the end. So that's really been a gift to connect with nature. Wherever you are, there is some way to connect with nature. And I think in this time of, like you said, I think you said things have gone a little wild, which I thought was a funny phrase, but things have been quite stressful. We're here in Florida, we just survived a hurricane.
Yeah,
Before that, it's really been one thing after another. A couple weeks stock market, lot of stressors hitting a lot of people in different ways. So really just trying to connect with your core values, and what is important to you. And nature helps you to do that and to recalibrate and to feel a lot calmer.
right. You know, I've gotten in touch a lot more to the notion of mindfulness, and I find for myself that not complicating life with a lot of different things. It has been, I'm one of these guys that loves to do a lot of things, and I'll do a little of this, a little of that. So I've gotten it down to the kind of things that I do that I could experience joy just in the completion of the little things, little things. So, and I have a 10-year-old grandson that has been going through the process of going back to school, or prior to that was projects that were meaningful to him, and the contribution of taking the time out to be with my grandchild, to do a project of a fish tank project, and a pond project, and nature project. Absolutely, I've gotten so much satisfaction from that process of doing that. And I noticed that my life changed a lot when I all of a sudden started to look at contribution from of a function of what is it that you're really contributing to? What is, so if you look at it from contributing to your body. So I found out that gluten for me doesn't work. So I started eating gluten-free type of diets that are the pastas and the things I absolutely love, the pastas, the bread, things like that. Anyway, I lost 20 pounds. I feel so much better. I feel energetic. So I see the results and the satisfaction that comes from figuring that out. If you look at it from the point of view, what are you doing to contribute to your body?
Right.
What are you doing to contribute to your mind? Oh, I'm reading different books that actually excite me and that are interesting. What do you do to contribute to someone else? That may be my wife or my family. And I see myself now being the observer of that and seeing the results. And when you see those results, that even in the little things, where you don't get plugged into the small things that might have aggravated you before, all of a sudden that life gets shaped so much differently, that it's the thing that gives me the motivation to go out there and share this with people and say, listen, this is what we talk about when we say satisfaction operating system, is having a contributing mindset to everything, to your body, to your relationships, to the outside world, to become the observer, being mindful about that awareness that you all of a sudden own, and makes you powerful because you have it. And also be aware when you get plugged in, to those things, those circumstances, or those environment, that you have to really know what perspective you're about to use, because you're constantly making new perspectives. You're creating this perspective and you own it from your subconscious mind. You got to become aware of that and know that. And that's this whole understanding of being self-actualized, so that you know yourself, that you're not necessarily your body, you're not necessarily your mind, but you have actually the ability to be that consciousness that knows exactly what's going on, and that you're no longer an effect. You're really a cause of the matter. That means taking responsibility for the way that you're maneuvering. So having that as a foundation for those that actually want to get involved with our system. Then the question then is using my old business skills, and how do we grow this into something that can really have it take on its own life and really start going. So I'm working on writing the book. I'm doing that process there. I'm working on the seminar, having fun with my grandson. And I am living for me, a satisfying life. And I hope everyone else could get involved with us and play. Because that's by the time everything is said, this is playful. And hopefully that everyone can come to our workshop in the background over there. I don't know if you can see it. That's up in northern Italy. You
Mhm.
see in my background.
Oh, that background. Yeah, that's
Northern Italy, up
beautiful.
in the Dolomites. We have a
Beautiful.
beautiful facility up there that we could all meet, get together and have a great conference and strategize how the world will be a better place if we put certain things into being. Anyway, so that's about it. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you, Lou. It's inspiring to hear how you've changed. You've made so many changes by becoming aware of what's important to you, and taking care of your body is important, and
Yeah.
being your grandson is important, and helping humanity is important.
Yeah.
And it's very nice that you've been able to identify all those and lean into that. And each person's goals are going to be different, obviously. And the idea of SOS is that it's personalized, and that each person finds what works for them to live their most satisfying
Sure.
life.
That's right.
Both shared our tips today. We hope that that triggered something, but we hope each person can find for themselves how to live their most satisfying life.
Very good. Okay.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Bye, everybody.